two highest points in one hike. How is that possible? We start at the Mount Pinos Nordic Base parking lot. Directions to it are in the description. Look for the trailhead at the entrance to the lot and go up the dirt road. In a few minutes, we pass this gate. Now, let's get this pronunciation thing out of the way. The Spanish word for pines is pinos. However, the locals call the mountain we're headed for Pinos. Now, I like to defer to however the people around here pronounce a particular name, so I'll be using Pinos in the video, even if it isn't really technically correct. Given that our elevation gain to Mount Pinos is a mere 500 feet over 2 miles, the ascent is hardly that strenuous, and even on a hot day, the abundant shade from the Jeffrey pines make this a wonderful stroll. Now at this unmarked junction, we take the wider path, that is, bear to the left. Now you could take this trail for extra credit. It ends up at a viewpoint, which may or may not be redundant. From here we continue gently upwards, now out of the forest and in a meadow. Not long after, we get our first sighting of Mount Pinos, identified by the communications equipment sticking up above the summit. And we come to another unmarked junction. We could continue on the road, which goes to the summit, or we could take this trail that heads off to the right. We're taking the trail because it just seems like more fun. While there is no guidepost to tell us this path will lead us to Mount Pinos, we're able to confirm we're going the right way with this routine Forest Service sign. Taking a roundabout way, the trail is at first a gentle climb, but gets a little more urgent as it hits this short but steep ascent to the top. Yay! Okay, we're at the highest point in Ventura County. From here, we can look down on the Central Valley and maybe, just maybe, see the Southern Sierra Mountains. Now, I don't normally point out geological markers, but in this case, there's a bit of trivia attached to them. Right here is the summit, and over there about 80 feet is the summit. Apparently, there are some people who have gotten rather persnickety about where they think the true peak is. Now, the only reason that matters is that marker is in Kern County, and this one is in Ventura County. So that one might be the highest point in Kern County or not, or this one might be the highest point in Ventura County. It's a toss-up. Of course, none of this matters when it comes to the landscape sights below us. Go on, soak it in. What's the rush? Well, then again, Sawmill Mountain awaits. From the summit, we take the road. At this unmarked junction, Are we seeing a pattern here? We head right. This quickly takes us to the Tumamayat Trail and Condor Observation Point. The California condor story is a continuing saga. In the 1980s, there were only 22 birds left alive, and they might have gone extinct. The rest of them were poisoned by lead shot left in animals killed by hunters. The rest were captured, bred, and released. There's now more than 200 in California and Arizona, including these guys I saw in Zion National Park and flying over the Grand Canyon. They are impressive birds. They have the longest wingspan of any bird in North America at 9 to 10 feet. And by the way, lead shot is no longer legal in California. We continue on the Tumamayat Trail, named in honor of Vincent Beaver Tumamayat, who is credited with helping to revive Chumash native culture. The trail leaves the top of the ridge and begins descending, sometimes gently, through long switchbacks, and occasionally it's on the steep side. Our destination, Sawmill Mountain, appears to be fairly close, but in fact it's at least 2 miles away. Along the route, we enter the Chumash Wilderness, created in 1992. The trail bottoms out at a saddle and starts back up. About 3/4 of a mile from the top, there's this false summit to the left. Stick to the trail. Another unmarked junction comes up. A bit hard to see. On this day, there is a barely readable, barely visible sign in the dirt. Here we veer to the right. Finally, our path ends at this stone marker at 8,822 feet in elevation. Yay! We're now on the top of the highest point in Kern County. Well, maybe. Depends on who you talk to. More views. Directly below is the Pine Mountain Club Resort, looking remote and out of the way. The return trip is nothing more than reversing course. The only difference is past the Condor Observation Point, we stick to the road the whole way, rather than taking the trail down from Mount Pinos. That was a good hike.